In the recent media, there's been a lot of coverage about school shootings. As a matter of fact, just a few weeks ago, there was actually a warning given to my district that there was going to be a mass murder occurring at one of our elementary schools. That proved to be a false threat. So luckily, no one got hurt. Unfortunately, what if it was a real threat? I mean, it still unnerved a lot of people. It still really caused a huge ripple in the community. And no reassurance from the police would make people feel safe. As a matter of fact, my district alone lost nearly $2 million that day because of so many absenteeism. Okay, so some of the ways that we can prevent school violence is definitely increasing a police presence. I know at all the secondary levels, in the middle school, the high school, there already is a police presence there, and most of these are certified peace officers, so they are armed and they do have the jurisdiction to issue citations and things like that. Now, a lot of people have said that the police presence isn't going to work because in the media has reported that a lot of these shootings have ended well before the police even got there. However, if the police is already there on campus, the response time is going to be much, much quicker. In addition, if there is a strong police presence, this should serve as a deterrent. Knowing the person who's going to commit these crimes, knowing that police are there, that they might get caught, they're not going to go through with their crime, and that they're going to get stopped. Now, in the past, we've talked about profiling. Now, profiling doesn't work. As a matter of fact, in a report of 2002 by the Secret Service, they found that profiling students wasn't going to work because the students who commit these kinds of crimes, or the people that target schools for these kinds of crimes, don't fit any particular profile. However, there has been a lot of coverage in the media lately about metal detectors being added to the school. Now, there's lots of reasons why metal detectors have not been added to every single school. One, of course, is going to be the cost. Second, is going to be, manning it, which is additional cost. But third of all, they say that there's a lot of schools that have so many entrances and so many exits that there is no possible way that they can guard every single one of them. However, I contend that because the schools usually have these doors already locked as just normal policy. And so if all these doors are locked where no one can get in, but people can still exit the building safely, and they have to go through one main entrance, that's the only way that they can be allowed into the school, then the metal detectors will definitely work. Now, of course, it's going to create a little bit of a congestion problem initially, but after a while, people will start to get the hang of it. People will start to arrive, earlier to school and be able to get here on time so they can go through the process and, we can have a much safer school. I mean, this is going to prevent, any sort of metal coming through that can be used as a weapon, whether it be a gun, whether it be a knife, or possibly maybe even, a baseball bat or anything like that. Now, for those that are athletes, I mean, I've heard some people already contending that, well, what about the athletes? They take home their stuff and, they may have a metal tennis racket. They may have a metal baseball bat. Well, there's no reason why they can't go drop off their stuff with the coach who can inspect it, and then they enter in through the side that is protected by the metal detector. In addition, I believe just like we already have in schools random searches for drugs and other paraphernalia, I believe that we should increase and expand those random searches with specially trained dogs, which we already own these dogs, that will search out for drugs, but to add these dogs that will also search out for ammunition, guns, or explosives. As a matter of fact, there is a lot of research out there that these dogs are highly effective, just like these dogs are used, for detecting drugs, just like they're used for so many other purposes that humans cannot, or any machine cannot rival. The dogs can definitely, assist us in trying to locate this stuff down. I mean, there are so many students that would bring drugs to school that have been caught or have been stopped from either distributing these drugs or from taking and using these drugs because of the presence of the dogs stopping them or being afraid of these random searches. Okay. All right, so in addition to everything that I've set out so far, I believe there needs to be a very, very strong policy that the doors do not open before a certain time. As a matter of fact, Madison High School here in San Antonio in the Northeast Independent School District recently published that they adopted a policy where their doors will not open until about 30 minutes before the start of school. Whereas opposed to before, the doors would open as early as 6 o'clock in the morning and be open to students. Students would be coming and going. In addition to the weekends, there was, the doors are a lot of times open on the weekends. So there needs to be definitely some controlled access to the building. In addition to that, again, we're borrowing from Madison High School here in San Antonio. They are no longer allowing students to carry their backpacks around with them. All the backpacks, they can bring in their backpacks in the morning. They have to put their backpacks away inside of the locker, and they are not allowed to take their backpacks with them the rest of the school day. This is going to prevent from students being able to carry and conceal some of these weapons as they're walking around. In addition, to prevent them from even coming into the school, all the backpacks have to be see-through. They either have to be made out of some sort of a transparent material or some sort of a mesh where you can very easily see without having to open the backpack or anything like that if a student is trying to conceal some sort of a weapon or some sort of explosive device, or even, even if it isn't a gun or even if it isn't a bomb or a knife or anything like that, so many things can be used so that way they can prevent it from stopping. And, these students that have brought in these weapons into school will know that it's going to be a lot harder for them to sneak it in. So that's going to definitely serve as a deterrent. Now, none of these are going to be complete 100% foolproof. Okay, we still have to be incredibly diligent. We still have to be incredibly smart about it. But if we put in all these policies into place, it's going to definitely be a larger deterrent. The bigger the deterrent, the more likely it is to stop it. So I really hope that you've enjoyed this speech. Thanks a lot for your time.